Hey guys, welcome to Hustle Sauce. I'm Michael Sharkey, founder of Your Podcast Coach. This is Ryan Hartman, co-founder of Thanks.io. Ryan, what are you hustling today? I see all these notes. What do you got?
All right. So yeah, we did our first episode a few days ago. And after the episode, I went behind the screens and did some more stuff. So I'm going to run through the bullet points. What we did here. First off, was to create the YouTube channel really quickly. You can see on my screen, there's no channel art or anything like that. We just needed to get this first video uploaded. And as part of getting that uploaded, I just wanted to call everybody's attention to the get notes and links at hustlesauce.info/episode 1. And talk, Michael, a minute about the approach we're taking to generating revenue with this both podcast and YouTube channel, because it's kind of tricky to do both. And we got to do it in a way that at the time eventually pays off. And I think it's fine to be transparent about that. I think you agree, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think look, if you're following along and you want to do this, you too want to make money. You too want to have something where if you're going to create a content channel like this, whether it be something separate from your business in addition to, you want the opportunity and the possibility that you're going to make money and generate revenue with it. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so the approach I'm trying to take here, and this is kind of born out of a lot of what I've done in my day job, where there's a weekly webinar and we have these notes attached. So evolving that into an affiliate marketing type setting, the first thing I did is in the video, I used my screencast-o-matic.com, screencastingsoftware.com. You can kind of see that on the screen. That's the tool we use to edit it. And I made a very ugly and simple get notes and links at this URL. And that kind of shows throughout the entire video. And then pause this. And then if you go to that link, what you'll get is the initial show notes. And the key point I want to make, and you don't have to do it this way. You can either do this in the description of your YouTube videos. You can do this in your podcast notes, wherever you do. But I wanted to condense it into one doc here. And you'll see in the doc, if you go to hustlesauce.info/episode 1, there are some other resources that if you click them, Michael or I might make some money. So.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, think about, when you are creating a content channel like this, a show, if you will, really what this is about is what are the ways in which this can grow your business? And in many ways, it can just be like, hey, look, you see on that doc, you can contact Ryan for information on Thanks.io. You can contact me for information on how to build a podcast with Your Podcast Coach, but affiliate revenue also makes a lot of sense with this and with a lot of projects. So, and I really, Ryan, I gotta hand it to you. The idea and concept of doing a redirect to a Google Doc is pretty ingenious, because I think that's where a lot of people get hung up. It's like, oh, well, I've got to, spend $5,000 on a website or whatever, 500 on a website, or how do I do that? And to get this thing going, back to the MVP, we're just redirecting to a Google Doc.
Yep. And so every episode will have a doc like this. It'll have the items in there. You can do this in your own business. Just have a running list of resources. And one other tip that I'll share is that the redirect itself, there's so many things you could use, like a bit.ly. You could register a domain and do subdomains. But my favorite little kind of hack on this is to just use a simple WordPress plugin. I thought I was logged in. Let me log in here. To just redirect each episode over. So the plugin I'm using is called Redirection, I think. There's a bunch of these things. And I'm going to assume a lot of people listening probably have a WordPress site. If you don't, just don't sweat it. You don't really need one to do this. But I'm just showing on the screen kind of how I did it. I went and said episode 1, go to the doc here. And then I did hustlesauce.info/domain cost club, which was a resource we mentioned in episode 1. We'll go over to the affiliate link for that. So free tool. If you already have a WordPress site, you can do it like this. Again, there are other ways to set up redirects.
Yeah, I use redirects all the time. And it's funny because it's such a simple way. And, instead of saying, okay, we'll go to, pages.yourpodcastcoach or info. Or or some weird URL that makes no sense. And you're sure as heck not going to try to say a Google Doc URL with a bunch of letters. A redirect becomes something very easy. And the biggest part is it's really memorable. You've got a great URL with Hustle Sauce. So hustlesauce.info. Well, now it's just /episode 1 or /episode 2, and it redirects to a Google Doc. And it's clean, it's quick, it's dirty, it's easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks all the boxes.
And you got to remember, people are going to be sitting watching your YouTube videos, or they're going to be sitting there on Spotify or Apple listening to a podcast. So it needs to be something they can quickly type in if they hear it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at, Michael. I know that tomorrow, do you want to talk a little bit about the next step? I think we're going to get into launching this as a podcast. We haven't done this work yet.
Yeah, we can do that. And, with this episode, what we can do is there are things that you can do when you're setting up a podcast that will impact discoverability, absolutely impact discoverability. So I want to talk about that tomorrow with very things like have nothing to do with the creation of this content, but the creation of just the setup inside your hosting that will make your podcast way more discoverable.
So setting up your hosting account to make your podcast more discoverable. Okay, so that'll be the next episode. And then that kind of transitions in, Michael, to this idea we have where, and you guys can do this too, where you start creating your first group of content, but we're intentionally doing this in a way that the first, say, 5 to 10, maybe more episodes will eventually be used as a lead magnet that fuels this business. So just a little teaser there. We'll be talking more about that.
Yeah, and it's just, and like this whole thing with this Google Doc that Ryan and I are putting together, like follow this process, and note that it's, the fancy backgrounds aren't here, or I think, you said you're upstairs at your in-laws. I'm in my kitchen, so you can hear my family making breakfast or cats running around. Like, don't overthink it. Don't let perfection get in the way of the progress, and just commit and move forward. There you go.
Everything all right? All right. Thanks, everybody. Hustlesauce.info/episode 2 is where you'll get any notes on this show. Definitely share this with your friends. Like, subscribe, bell button all on the YouTube, and whatever you need to do on the podcast. I don't know, Michael. What do they need to do there?
Just subscribe if you would. That would be great.
See you next time, guys.